In the last video, we saw Sejun trying to act out a new plan based on what he learned from Theo about the hunters being really fond of him. First, he pampered Theo, even giving him his title of sales cat back and feeding him snacks and fish. But then he was stunned as he learned that he was on the 99th floor of the tower and that the hunters could not reach here in his lifetime. And the reason Theo could go from the 99th tower to the 38th tower in 5 days was because of special privileges given to the wandering merchants. Theo shows off his wandering merchant license, which stopped any monster from attacking him and also allowed him to use a merchant-only shortcut passageway to reach other floors faster. Although Sejun is initially taken aback, he soon changes his mind upon learning the benefits of the wandering merchant license. He imagines a future where he is famous as the legendary merchant and tower farmer who appears before hunters who are in a desperate situation. But that dream is ruined when Theo tells him that only those who are born inside the tower can become wandering merchants. Sejun is exasperated and lets out a loud scream before collecting his thoughts and deciding to live his life to the fullest if he cannot get out of the tower. Back in the real world, a woman called Jenny, who is the CEO of a big pharma company, is showing the magical cherry tomatoes to Michael, the vice president of the world's largest food company. Michael is a hunter himself and can see the information window on the tomatoes, but that does not impress him much. But when Jenny shows him the research they did on the tomatoes in such a short time, he changes his mind. Together, they plan to create a new business venture using their expertise and shared interests. Now, back in the tower, Sejun is trying to sort out some things that will make his life in the cave more comfortable. He scribbles knowing about the surroundings and daily necessities on the ground as he explains to his animal friends that since they are going to settle here, they have to fix some inconveniences they have experienced till now. And they also need to increase the number of items they need for their daily activities. Knowing the environment outside the cave is also important, and Sejun asks Theo if he saw any monsters outside. Theo replies that there was no monster near the cave, but there was one monster a little farther away. Sejun asks him what kind of monster it was, and the cat replies that it was a giant crimson bear. Sejun suddenly remembers the incident during a previous blue moon when the crimson bear almost attacked him, and he is taken aback upon knowing this. Even Theo is scared of the monster, despite being protected by his license. The crimson bear was terrifying and always glared at him as he passed through the area. And just like Sejun had expected, the area surrounding the cave was dangerous, and he could not yet think about going out. As the black rabbit and Theo play in the background, Sejun watches the queen bee pollinating the fields. Thousands of cherry tomato flowers will bloom soon, and in turn, the number of poison honeybees will also increase. Sejun plans to use this thing to his advantage. He plans to ask the poison honeybees to patrol the area around the cave's entrance and ensure that no monster can get nearby. Also, he can ask them to tie a rope he has made using onion leaves to a nearby tree outside, and using that, he can finally step outside the cave. Sejun is really happy but nervous at the same time. He tells Theo that he has a mission for him, and the cat merchant asks him what it is. Sejun butters him up before disclosing the details, saying it was an extremely important mission that only a sales cat could accomplish. He asks the sales cat Theo if he could do it, and excited by getting his title back, Theo does not even wait to hear the mission and agrees to do it. A few days later, he is back on the 38th floor, where the hunters have set camp, in order to wait for the sales cat with his magical cherry tomatoes. Theo watches them from a distance and thinks that there are many more people here compared to last time, and it seemed like they were all competing to secure their place here. But it only works out in his favor. The more buyers he has, the better for him. Theo jumps and lands in front of the hunters, startling them. As soon as he declares his arrival, the hunters leave whatever they were doing and rush towards him. They are all pleased to see the wandering cat merchant and surround him. A fat man pushes the other hunters aside and asks Theo if he has the magical cherry tomatoes. He wants to buy all of them and has a big pouch of tower coins ready. The other hunters do not take this behavior lightly and confront him for cutting the line. They say that those who were here earlier had already made arrangements regarding the purchase. But the man fights back, saying that the Phoenix Guild does not own the 38th floor and could not monopolize it. They quarrel more, and the fight is about to get physical when Theo intervenes. He asks the humans to wait and listen to what he wants to say first. Starting today, Theo declares that he is going to change his selling method. The humans are curious and ask him what method he means. Theo tells them that starting today, he is going to sell 500 pieces of cherry tomatoes to the person who pays the highest price. It was going to be done in auction style, and the hunters are stunned. Theo is confident and says that those who do not have the money should simply leave. He starts the auction at the rate at which he sold the cherry tomatoes last time, at 0.07 tower coins per cherry tomato. He starts the bids at 35 tower coins for 500 of them. This was the mission Sejun had given him. He realized that the popularity of the cherry tomato outside the tower was even greater than he imagined it would be, and it could be judged easily from the fact that humans would give Theo churu just to win his favor. Sejun has predicted that there will be some competition to secure the goods this time, and it will all work in his favor. As Sejun and the black rabbit watch the farmer rabbits harvest the cherry tomatoes, he tells his rabbit friend that since the supply was limited and the demand was very high, and would continue to rise, the best way to make money out of it would be to hold an auction. He asks the black rabbit if he does not think so, but the rabbit does not even understand what auction means. Other than the auction, Sejun has also given Theo some other missions, and using this opportunity, he was planning to confirm Theo's trading skills. With that, Sejun gets up and says that he should also get back to work, and the black rabbit is also ready to go fishing. But then suddenly, a quest window pops up in front of him. The tower manager has issued an additional quest. It wants 1 glass of the magical cherry tomato and honey juice Sejun just drank. The reward was a job-related skill, and the penalty for refusal was a great disappointment. Sejun complains, saying that squeezing the juice out of cherry tomatoes will take some time, so he will complete this quest later as he has to do work now. But the manager insists that Sejun completes the quest immediately because there is an amazing reward waiting for him this time. The manager emphasizes a lot on the skill he has prepared for Sejun and says that he would find it very impressive. Sejun asks him if he wants to show off his quest reward or if he wants to drink the tomato honey drink. He asks the manager if they couldn't just give him the skill in advance, and the tower manager replies that Sejun has to complete the quest to get the reward. It was the rule of the place, and it could not be broken. Well, Sejun understands and asks the manager to give him a moment. Earlier, he had a sudden craving for tomato juice, so he squeezed 50 cherry tomatoes that he had freshly harvested. He mixed some honey into the juice and shared it with the rabbits. It was very delicious, and they kept whining that they wanted more. And now, Sejun goes to his storage and takes out some cherry tomatoes that he thinks will be enough for the tower manager. And then it is time for deadly juicing. Sejun uses all his strength as he crushes the tomatoes with his hands and fills up a glass with that. Then he asks the queen honeybee for her help, and she spits out a large blob of honey and throws it into the glass of juice. With a little bit of stirring with a straw, the juice is ready. Sejun takes it and offers it to the tower manager, who is really curious about the taste and is flapping its wings. Sejun is confused as he reads about the manager's wings and wonders what kind of creature it was. He does not know that the manager was the black dragon he saw on the first blue moon. And right now, it is enjoying the tomato juice, which is really sweet and tangy. It is overjoyed and praises Sejun because the juice was too delicious. And then Sejun gets his quest reward that the manager was hyping so much. He opens the reward and finds his new skill, beekeeping level 1. The tower registers the hive of poison honeybees in the cave as being owned by Sejun, and this is registered in his new skill. Sejun is surprised by his new beekeeping skill and checks out its details. He can use the beekeeping skill on the beehive he owns. The honeybees in the hive will not show any hostility towards him, and he can give them specific instructions. Also, the foraging range of the honeybees will increase slightly, as will their speed of collecting honey and the rate of pollination. In addition to that, the egg-laying speed of the queen bee will also increase by a small amount. Sejun is really glad to have this skill. Earlier, he was concerned if the poison honeybees would regard him as a threat if he went out of the cave and came back in. But with such skill, he can do it with ease. Sejun asks the tower manager if he is listening to his concerns. He thanks the manager, who is stumped and happy to receive Sejun's gratitude. The dragon plays around with the empty glass and straw and says that if Sejun is really so thankful, he can give it another glass of magical cherry tomato juice with honey. The happy mood of the manager is going to be ruined soon, as Sejun has a question for it. He wants to know what species is the manager, and he assumed it to be something like a winged pig based on its eating habits. Now, the manager is furious, and he shouts at Sejun through the message windows before cutting contact with him, and Sejun has no idea why he was so furious. Meanwhile, at Theo's location, the people are taken aback by the declaration of the auction. Everyone is anxious, especially Dongshik, the leader of the Phoenix Guild, who thinks that if he cannot buy cherry tomatoes today, his image will worsen in the eyes of his daughter. Therefore, he is the first one to place a bid, raising the price from 35 to 41 tower coins in one go. His teammates are surprised, but he tells them that right now it was important for them to secure the goods. They can later pool money from anyone who wants the cherry tomatoes. But the fat man outbids him, and then everyone else also joins. The bidding does not stop and goes up to 60 tower coins, and now Dongshik feels that they may not have enough budget for it. Even his teammate does not have much with her, as she was only going to buy a little amount to give someone as a gift. But no one among the people gathered there is going to win the bid. A man comes out of nowhere and outbids everyone by a huge margin, declaring his intention to buy the 500 cherry tomatoes for 100 coins. He is Michael, the vice president of Gagel Food Company. No one can match his bid, and the tomatoes are sold to him. Everyone is shocked to find him there, and they murmur amongst themselves about what just happened. Dongshik recognizes Michael, who is also known as the young master of the hunters, and he wonders why he was here. But there is someone behind Michael he recognizes, a hunter named Chris who was a part of the Phoenix Guild. Dongshik asks him what he's doing here. This was supposed to be his day off. Chris stammers and apologizes, saying that his elder sister Jenny asked him to guide Michael to the place where the wandering merchant was. Dongshik knows that Chris' sister is the CEO of a big pharmaceutical company, and he thinks that now they will even have to compete against the big pharma for the cherry tomatoes. He did not think that the rumor would spread so fast. Now, there are only 2 rounds of auctions left, and he is determined to win at least one of them. And now, Theo says that he was going to start the second round of auctions. With this, the video ends. A rich guy outbidding everyone with his endless wealth might not be good news for the hunters, but Sejun is about to get very rich very quickly. What are Michael's plans, and will he buy the rest of the cherry tomatoes too? Let us find out what happens in the next chapter soon. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment, and also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.